streaming to Substack, and we're streaming to PeerTube. And I'm just waiting for Streamplace, Owncast, and Substack to go green, and then we'll go right into it. So, Sarah, can you let me know when Substack is up?
Please go.
I'm waiting for it.
Okay. Because I want to be sure that it looks like it's up.
Yep,
So,
it's there.
Okay, cool. All right, yay. All right, well, we'll go right into today's activity then. So I called today's session Lace Up and Swing. So I woke up this morning, and the quote I used this morning was, I woke up with gunpowder taste in my mouth, because right now the U.S. Senate is going into a filibuster to basically force the SAVE Act into passing. So that hits this week. On top of that, the Bureau of Prisons, it's been revealed 9 independent trans prisoners were interviewed, and they have literally said that the prison system is essentially ripping all gender-affirming care away. They are putting trans people into dangerous positions in the prison system, and it's a disaster. People are dying. I mean, not that people don't already have the problem of dying because of the violent system in the prison system, but if you're trans and in the prison system, that becomes exponentially higher.
Yeah, they're specifically targeting us for abuse and torture.
Which is viscerally and utterly painful, in my honest opinion. So, with that being said, I want to go right into it. On top of the fact, oh, by the way, as a druid, Mother Earth got really pissed off, and she loaded 5 more rounds into her AK-47, and she has unleashed El Nino again on the Earth, which is a disaster. So, the start of the session, creation as refusal. And I quoted Keith Haring. And if you don't know who Keith Haring is, he was a queer kid from Reading, Pennsylvania, who had an infamously well-known New York subway city tagger reputation. And he was HIV positive, and AIDS eventually killed him at the age of 31. But his assertion is that art is for everybody. Why is this? There are people, by the way, I want to say, that where Keith Haring's artwork is considered, pay millions of dollars for the work that he reproduced. I mean, there's people that literally go to Sotheby's and bid hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars on shit that Haring did. But back in the heyday, he had a shop front, and a teenager could buy shit that he made for $5. And what does that mean from an art perspective? Haring didn't wait for a gallery to say yes. He carried chalk into the dark, and he made walls talk, and in ways that other people, would not have. And in essence, that's the oldest queer survival strategy there is. You make the thing before anyone gives you permission to do it. The SAVE Act is the exact opposite of that impulse. It's a document that says you have to prove that you belong here before we will let you participate. Fuckers. Haring's whole life was the answer to that. I don't have to prove to you that I belong here. I show up, I draw it bigger, and fuck the rest of you assholes. So when we think about what it means that his last years were spent painting murals in hospitals and orphanages and not retreating into private grief while he was dying, because he was, that's not inspiration from our perspective. That's architecture. And so every queer person in this room, all of us have made something out of nothing. A family, a home, a self the world refuses to blueprint. That is art in its most purest form. That creation isn't the painting. The creation is the life that you build with no floor plan. And so the system wants you to believe that access requires permission and credentials, and you have to have a passport to vote, and you have to have a birth certificate to register, and all of that. But the fact of the matter is, life's gallery wall, doesn't give a shit about any of that. Art is for everybody. So is the ballot. So is medical care. So is the right to exist in your own body without agency, or deciding that you don't deserve, or deciding what you deserve versus what you don't deserve outside of anybody else. And so the question I then pose is, what are you hiding about yourself that you don't want others to know? For me, it has been that over the last week, I have been battling probably the worst bout of depression that I have been dealing with in a very long time. And I freely and openly admit that that depression, the causation of that depression, the root of that depression, was my own doing and was my fault and was caused by things that I did. And I won't go into the specifics of how far down into that hole I got. But in the last 48 to 72 hours, I got very close to the bottom of the bucket, and in a way that I have no intention of describing. But what crushing depression does to me versus other people is entirely different. I'm not quiet. I don't withdraw. I distract. I do whatever I can to distract myself from thinking about that depression, thinking about that sadness and the effect that it has. And yet, at its highest levels, I torture myself, sometimes in the worst possible of ways, trying to deal with that depression, whether internally or otherwise. And I don't want to hide that about myself. I do not want others to be aware of it. I have a problem sharing it because I worry about the effect that I have on other people, especially those people that I love. And there are a few people I love very much that I do not want to have that effect. And the only way for me to reconcile that effect is to admit to them that, yes, I understand this. And yes, I did this. And it doesn't matter what the fuck the reason was. It doesn't matter what the fuck the intent was. It doesn't matter what any of that shit is. It caused pain and it caused hurt. And I have to accept that. So that's what I've been hiding about myself. Sarah?
I don't think I've got anything that dramatic to follow that.
I wouldn't imagine that you would.
I mean, I guess the idea of hiding something about myself is difficult to wrap my head around, considering how much I've been excavating. Are there still things that I haven't come to grips with? Sure, probably. Um, Beyond that, I'm not sure. I guess I would need more focus of the question. Like, is this a broad hiding of something about myself, or is this specifically to certain people or certain groups of people?
Pick one.
Pick one. I mean, the easiest one is that, I'm not at all out to large portions of my family. And I can't answer if I will ever be out to them.
Why not?
It's very dependent on my interactions with them and whether or not that's going to be a wise decision. All indicators point to no at this point, but
You shaking the magic 8-ball?
sure.
All right. Brandon, what are you hiding about yourself that you don't want others to know?
Who did you say? Who did you say?
You. I'm picking on you, Brandon.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you said Miranda or Brandon. So
Brandon.
they do sound similar.
They do. They do. Yes.
Well, I can relate to the depression. I mean, sometimes I go through little bouts of depression. I haven't been in one that's as significant as what you're talking about for a long time, but I hesitate to share that sometimes because for one, I don't want people to feel sorry for me, and also I don't feel that it helps me. I know a lot of people say that it does help them if they share with somebody else and they find support in other people saying, "Oh, I'm here for you," or whatever, but it doesn't really do much for me because I know that they can't do anything to help it. They can't bring me out of it or anything like that. So I like, why burden anyone else with that? It's not going to help me or them. So
because we can sit with you in the dark.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the perspective of other people, but for me, it's just like it's not. I don't know. I don't feel like it's gonna help me. So I just,
It doesn't help you to not feel alone.
Not really. I mean, it's like it doesn't make me feel any better. you know. Um,
Right.
I mean, if I'm in a, well, I don't know. I was gonna give an analogy, but that one wouldn't work. So, um, anyway, but the I also can relate to Sarah. There are portions of my family that I haven't come out to and likely never will. I just don't want to deal with that, the response to it. So there's that.
All right, Miranda, what are you hiding that you don't want other people to know?
The fact that you're asking that question seems counterintuitive.
Oh yeah, I found the mute button. Sorry. Um, um, I don't know if it's hiding. Um, really. So there are members of my family who've told me recently that they miss the old me, pre-transition me, the guy who was depressed all the time and angry, and it's just, it's baffling to me that they see that version of me as preferable to the me who is happy and fulfilled. And so I don't hide myself from them, but I've stopped putting as much effort into maintaining those relationships. Basically, low contact with several people at this point because they refuse to see me for who I am, and that hurts. But you know, I've tried being open with them, and they just don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, that tracks. It's painful. I know that feeling all too well. Onyx.
So I wrote about it. If you want to read about it, it's on my website, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. I will, however, talk about my mental health. Everybody knows, if they've caught this show, they know about my mental health. I have bipolar disorder, and you know, I have experienced 3 episodes within a 12-month period. That means that it's getting worse. I have instituted people to help me, but like Brandon said, or I don't know if it was Brandon, Sarah, or Miranda, one of y'all said it, but it was about you know, people feeling like now they have to watch you or they pity you, and so instead of having friendships, I now have people watching me, and it taints the relationship, and you know, it makes me not want to say anything, but I know that I have to in order to keep myself safe. And egg safe. But that is not, that does not work. I mean, it works to my benefit, and it also does not. No, so
Yeah, that tracks.
no.
You know, the the weight that you carry isn't just yours. I mean, that's the wound we all walk around with. And my lead into that was Billie Jean King. Do we all know who Billie Jean King is? Because there are people that might not.
I don't know the name.
Oh my God. Okay.
Tennis.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I think many people, I don't know, was Billie Jean King gay or was she just bi? I don't remember.
Yay!
Okay, she was like completely gay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And not was, is. She's still
It is.
alive.
I'm sorry,
Is, yeah.
She's still here.
She's a living legend, yeah.
Yeah. So, talking about her tennis championship after facing Bobby Riggs in front of 90 million people in 73, she said, "I thought it would set us back 50 years if I didn't win." And the thing about that is I had to read a digest of her biography to get this, but she basically walked onto that court knowing that the weight wasn't a tennis match. It was every woman who'd been told, "You're not enough, you're not fast enough, you're not serious enough, you're not aggressive enough, you're not any of this other shit that you should be." And she went and picked a racket up anyway. And that was the texture of showing up when the cost of sitting down is worse than losing. Because we're really at that moment now. Today, the court is the fucking Senate chamber. Chuck Schumer stood on his podium and basically said the SAVE It Act is one of the most despicable pieces of legislation that he's ever seen in his entire life. Because it demands proof of citizenship, because it demands registration, because it demands tracking, because it demands document, and all of that shit that costs money. That, by the way, probably most working Americans who are paying an arm and a leg for groceries and gas and everything else that's costing more money because fuckhead is continuing to fuck the country over, don't have. And I'm sorry, Onyx, I have to make this reference. I'm going to apologize way in advance if this triggers you, but it's true. This is literally Jim Crow in a flag pin. Because that's exactly what the fuck it is. They're not fixing the plumbing, they're rigging the water supply.
No.
The court is also prison medical office in Florida where a trans woman waited 3 months for a commissary order for HRT drugs that never came. No chest binders, no razors, no estrogen, nothing that would make the body bearable, because fuck that. While the Bureau of Prisons defies a federal court order, by the way, to strip thousands of people of hormone therapy. Physicians in that space say, well, withdrawing hormones, clearly increase suicidal ideation. That's torture with a fucking memo. So
Yeah.
King,
They don't care if we self-delete, though.
Yeah,
They see that as a victory.
No, yeah. If we self-delete, if we self-unalive, if we self-eviscerate ourselves, it's not their fault. That goes back to last week's discussion about when they open the door and they let you in, they feel generous that they let you in the door rather than kept you on the outside. And so King understood something most people never, ever name. sometimes your fight isn't yours alone. Sometimes you carry the weight of everyone watching who needs you not to sit down. And sometimes that weight is the only thing that keeps, every punch I throw, every word I use honest. They want us to forfeit. The voter purge, hormone refusals, emissions that they refuse to regulate that are fucking the earth over. By the way, as I had previously said, Mother Earth decided to throw another clip and pull the cocking hammer back on her AK-47 because she just invoked El Nino again. In essence, saying, fuck you, I'm going to fuck you back. NOAA says that it'll likely arrive by summer and it'll persist through winter. And a 1 in 3 chance of it becoming worldwide strong. The last 2 events that happened basically delivered record global heat. And researchers are saying that because El Nino is happening now, going into 2027, there are heat records that will get broken in numerous places. They are even projecting that in Georgia, it could reach 118 degrees.
Holy shit.
Oh, hell no.
At 100% humidity. At 100%.
Oh!
That's deadly.
Oh! That is deadly.
That will actually kill people.
Yeah.
Well, here in Denver this week, we have 3 days that toward the end of the week that are predicted to be in the 80s. One of those, the current prediction is 87, but there's a chance that it could top 90. If it does hit 90, that would be our earliest 90-degree day for the calendar year by 6 weeks, because currently our first 90-degree day is like late April.
Right. That's a fucking disaster. And all
And we
of
have
this,
and we have hardly any snowpack in the mountains, so
right?
we're going to be in
which is
a water disaster this summer.
Exactly. Water shortages are going to happen because there's not enough snow to melt down from the mountains into the rivers that feed into those subsystems. Everything in relation to the mother and the earth that she is all interconnected.
Yes, and everything will be affected. Yeah. All ecosystems are going to be affected.
So that leads into the introspective question. And that introspective question is, when did you last carry weight that wasn't only yours, and who were you carrying it for? And that's a pretty painful question, because I have been doing that for nearly 37 years, if not longer, and I still do it. I've been carrying the weight of Zoe on my shoulders because of every person that Zoe affected in my life, and universally believing that carrying that weight was my penance because of the things that I caused Zoe to do. Now, those that don't know that are watching, Zoe was my mother. I have an extensive abuse history. It's a disgustingly bad abuse history to talk about. It involves things people don't want to understand. If Sarah drops my biography link in the chat, don't read it. I'm telling Sarah not to do that on purpose. Don't do it. But I have carried that weight for so long. And the pinnacle moment where I realized that I was still carrying that weight happened yesterday. And it happened yesterday because I experienced something more painful to me than I have experienced in a very long time. I mean, I'm not going to joke around. I'm an impact bunny. There's a lot of pain and anguish that I can take, and there's a good portion of it that actually feels good. But I haven't safe worded in probably 30, over 30 years. That should tell you something. But there are certain degrees of pain that I cannot deal with and that I won't deal with. And yesterday, I reached that pinnacle of pain. And I was not ready. I was not ready to deal with that. And I made a couple of choices that I shouldn't have made, and I won't say what those are. Now, am I sorry that I have carried that weight? Yes. Yes, very much so. Am I sorry that I hurt others carrying that weight? Oh, you better fucking believe it. You know, I recently asked somebody who was very angry at me, would it help you if you could confront me with your anger? Because I can take it. Doesn't matter what it is. And the answer to that question was no. But I wanted to resolve that situation. And so I decided not to. Because the person told me, what good would it do? And my answer to that question was, you wouldn't be carrying that anger anymore. So I could take it, and that anger wouldn't be there, and they wouldn't have to carry it because they don't need to carry it. This is a person that I care about very deeply, and with reason. So, yeah. I've been carrying around weight that I shouldn't be carrying for a long time. And it's far, far been past time for me to let that go, and I haven't. Okay, Brandon.
Who, me? Carrying the weight of someone else for someone else. I kind of go back to the first thing I thought of was when you were talking about the Billie Jean King quote. I think anytime you're writing online, or at least me, I feel like sometimes I'm representing gay men, in general. And I think that's kind of true of anybody, I guess, that's like if a straight man were writing an article and it was kind of misogynistic or whatever, everybody would say, "Oh man, they're so horrible." It's kind of they represent their whatever, the group they're in. And sometimes I kind of feel that way, like, am I doing enough, or am I carrying enough? Am I representing enough. It's kind of I don't know. It takes on a lot when you have an audience significant. I mean, mine is I don't consider mine very significantly large. There are lots of people with thousands and millions of followers and subscribers or whatnot. So as far as that goes, I'm a little fish, but sometimes I still feel that though.
Oh, Brandon, honey, I think you represent every gay man on the earth, and I think every gay man on the earth needs to know that you represent every gay man on the earth, so that we can find you a husband.
Brandon, gay spokesperson.
Yes, Brandon, you're a gay. You're a gay icon.
Oh gosh.
You're so much larger than Greg Louganis. I'm just gonna say. Oh, you're doing reaction sounds again. God damn it,
Oh shit!
Stop using the video conferencing software the way that it was meant to be used. Oh.
Fun.
All right, Sarah, who are you carrying weight for that you shouldn't be? And why?
That I shouldn't be?
Yes. And it wasn't weight that was yours. When did you last carry weight that wasn't yours, and who were you carrying it for?
I don't really know.
God damn it, Brandon.
How do you wear these like little things?
Yeah,
Sorry, I won't.
What these reaction sounds are in this thing.
I need to find out where they are. No.
Oops.
I don't really know. I think if I'm carrying somebody else's weight, I've probably been doing it for so long that it doesn't even feel like it's somebody else's at this point.
I mean, I could ask, but I don't want to self-impose. I mean, you've talked about it. Do you feel like you carry the weight from your father, your parental unit?
I'm actively shedding the weight of his judgment. I mean, that's been 3 years that I've been doing that, so. Is there still some residual? Probably. Am I ever going to be completely free of it? Ideally, but realistically, probably not.
I mean, I've been carrying around Zoe's shit since I was a teenager, and I still haven't shed it. What the fuck do you think the answer to that question is? Do I think I'll ever really totally be free of carrying it? Fuck no. Will it be much less? Oh, you better fucking believe.
I mean, the act of watching him take his final breath was a good step in the right direction for me.
Can I tell you something very honestly?
Sure.
And I don't want anyone to judge me for saying this. That is a pleasure that I was denied. And it is part of my trauma. Because having that experience would have told my brain that she really was gone and that she really would no longer have been a threat to me. So I understand that feeling probably a lot better than you think.
Although I do have something to say in regards to what you were saying initially, that acting on anger, sometimes it just results in regret.
Does it? Does it? Does it cause regrets?
It can.
Even one letter?
Yeah, lots of letters.
I'm sorry, that's a We're the Millers reference. If nobody's seen that movie, then they don't know why the fuck that's funny, but it is. All right, Miranda, weight you've carried for someone else, and why did you do it?
There's a lot of family weight that I've carried. There are certain people in my family that there's just kind of this broad idea of don't upset that person, or because if you do, then they're going to act a certain way. And so I've had to make myself smaller in order not to trigger their negative behavior that then other people around would blame me for. And that's been something that I've been doing for 40 years, and trying not to do that as much, and just make them deal with their own emotions, and not try to put that on me.
Yeah, I think that you shouldn't do that. I doubt there's many in this forum that would argue at that point. You shouldn't carry that. You shouldn't carry that any more than I should, than Brandon should, than anyone else should. So I agree with you. All right, Alex. What are you carrying, and who have you been carrying it for?
Somebody else's treatment of me. I smelled a smell a couple days ago, and it brought everything back. And it's something that I've been holding on to that was not of my doing, or maybe it was, but for this person's sake, I have not said anything or done anything, and haven't really confronted it myself, and haven't spoken about it much. Um, and I realize that's where the problem is. So I'm beginning to speak about it more. And in speaking about it more, hoping some of the negativity and shame will go away with it. So.
Do we lose Alex?
No, I'm done. I'm sorry. No. Can you hear me?
Wendy's signal's going.
Okay. Yeah, I'm done. I'm sorry.
Well, I certainly think that's important. Here.
Oh.
Is
Welcome back.
Yeah, I had to.
Welcome back.
Can you give me? Can you give me? Can you give me? Yeah, can you give me moderator back? There we go. Cool. I was not trying to miss what you said.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, it's just, yeah, something happened a long time ago. I haven't really confronted it. I was triggered by a smell a couple days ago, and it kind of brought it all rocketing back to the forefront. And so it's something I need to deal with. It was not my fault, or at least I don't think it was. And it's something that evidently I've been carrying a long time. And it's, yeah, I wrote about it. So
I think that's a healthy catharsis.
no, it was. Still dealing with it. Telling people shortly, only kind of.
So the thing that you ultimately end up carrying home from this, and I want to say this, I used the Andrea Jenkins quote about herself, which, if you don't know who Andrea Jenkins is, she was the first Black trans woman elected to a U.S. public office, which was Minneapolis' city council in 2017. And by the way, she won like 73% of the vote, which was shocking. And then she got reelected at 86% of the vote. And then she unanimously made council president. And she the moral to this, or the title of this is Presence as a Structure. She said, I do want to just acknowledge the tremendous feeling of voting for oneself and how that feels. And so she says she voted for herself. I sat in a booth and I filled in my own name, knowing what it meant for every trans person who was watching that had never seen their reflection on a ballot. And that audacity is the audacity that says, I belong in the fucking room. And that's the thing that they can't take away. So the SAVE Act is designed to stop exactly that, to make the act of voting so burdened with paperwork and proof and validation and everything else that people who most need representation never reach the ballot box. You know, all 47 Democratic senators will vote no. Voting rights organizations are mobilizing legal challenges, but that fight isn't in that chamber alone. It's at the registration line. It's in the DMV. It's in the kitchen where someone decides whether it's worth the trouble or not. Well, I don't know if any of you know, but it's worth the fucking trouble. And in Jenkins' case, she didn't just win, she governed. A council president, oral history curator. She didn't treat her seat as a symbol, she treated it as a tool. That's what it is. And that's the difference between visibility and presence. Visibility is being seen, presence is being structural. I mean, you know, in 73, the American Psychological Association removed homosexuality from the DSM because people refused to stop showing up. In 2017, Jenkins walked into a city council chamber You know, the line from Bayard Rustin all the way forward to Andrea Jenkins is not a straight line. No, definitely not a straight line. There's nothing straight about that, not even slightly. But it's a line that never broke. And so the thing that you take from that is that your presence is not decorative. It's load bearing. They can strip voter rolls. They can burn policies to ash. They can defund organizations. They can taper our gender affirming care. They can pretend climate isn't a wound, that it's all bullshit, but they cannot uncast that vote. They cannot unshow up. And here's the thing about a 1 in 3 chance where the Mother Earth is concerned. It means 2 times out of 3, it doesn't happen. But we don't play those odds. We don't do those things. So that asks us then to think about where in our lives have we stopped waiting to be invited? Going out in public and being a woman. You know, over the weekend, I took my kids to Waffle House. I got shit looks from a couple of people. There were a clearly evangelical crew of people that sat in front of us, and the woman kept looking at me disgusted. Did I give a shit? No, I didn't. You know, it was the same thing going into another public place to eat dinner. The Checker burger that I ate yesterday that I engrossingly regret, because Checker burgers, like Wendy's burgers, are greasy as fuck. But I don't need to be invited to participate in public life. I don't need to be invited to write in spaces. You know, I published a story yesterday, and then it went into the Mastodon space. And it went into the Mastodon space because I didn't give a shit. I didn't need to be invited to share that in that space. What did I get out of it? A shit ton of engagement. A whole slew of messages from people that were telling me, I didn't realize your work was out there, and I just read what you wrote, and that changed my life a tiny bit. That changed my life this much. I'm going to keep reading the shit that you write, because the shit that you write makes me feel good. Did I wait to be invited for that? No. Am I going to wait to be invited for it? Fuck no. Definitely not. You know, I mean, I wrote a story 2 days ago that explained Yaoi and Yuri anime to everybody, and I was waiting for people to go, oh my God, this is completely disgusting. Did that happen? Fuck no. The people that read it were like, oh my God, you fictionalized describing something to people that I wish everybody just saw it that way, and not adult hentai anime girls having sex with each other, or whatever. Adult anime male characters fucking each other, or whatever, as an eroticism. I'm like, no, because it's not. There's yaoi and yuri mangas and anime that are completely G-rated, that involve very much male-on-male relationships. And there's G-rated yuri that has the same impact. There are degrees of everything in society. So, no, I won't be invited to tell people about these things or educate people about these things any more than I will be invited to give people Trans 101, which I have had to do thousands of times. I still do it. So, Miranda, where in your life have you stopped waiting to be invited?
Oh, you're talking about some looks you got the other day at Waffle House, and the burger place. A couple days ago, I went to take my dog for a walk at the park by our place. And there were a bunch of people in Christian t-shirts and Charlie Kirk merch, or I guess Make Heaven Crowded merch. So that's Erica, but whatever. And like it was enough. It was enough that it was like there must be like a conference in town, or somebody's church is having revival or something. And but like I would walk past people and you could tell when they clocked me, because it was all like, "Psst, hey, there's one of those." And so, you know, I kept walking past these people who would then have whole conversations about me, as if I weren't there to perceive that they were talking about me.
Not very subtle.
Not at all. Yeah, they weren't very subtle either. But yeah, does that?
Yeah.
Did it bother me? Sure, a little bit. Did I retreat? Did I run off? Did I change my behavior? No, I just kept strolling, and you know, whatever.
I mean, you're doing what anyone else of us should be doing. Onyx.
Yes, I figure as a trans person, and as a trans person who is visibly trans and who has been visibly trans since I've been out, which has been now 11 years. I've taken up that space. It's been such that I've had parents of kids come up to me and thank me for being out, so that their kids could see something or someone like me and understand that they have a way forward. I've had friends of friends come up and tell me that. Well, I only have one friend, so a friend of that friend. But people in different parts of the country, because they know my bestie, and they know my bestie is besties with me, and they know I'm trans, they will call and ask my bestie questions, and my bestie will send them to me. And it's just this, taking up space because I'm visibly trans and I can't stop that. So why not be proud about that? Why not show others a path forward? And I think I'm doing that. Well,
Sarah.
Working in a male-dominated field, unapologetically. And oddly enough,
You own that too, by the way.
Oddly enough, the most hate I get is from the other women in the field.
The most hate you get is from other women in the field.
I don't really think that's odd at all, actually. No.
I mean, there's one in particular, and it's because she has a dislike of having to interact with strong women. And it took me years to realize that it wasn't just that she hated me. She hates any woman who has a strong sense of self, or a strong sense of I belong here, whether you like it or not. She also doesn't have a sense of humor, so that doesn't help.
That tracks.
No sense of humor, and I'm a prankster, so yeah, like oil and water.
How dare you?
I know. For shame.
For shame.
Oh. I'm sorry, Sarah. That's just a little too fun. That's just a little too fun.
I mean, my pranks almost got me fired by her, so I'm the reason we don't do Secret Santa anymore.
You're the reason they don't.
I'm the reason.
Have you been that bad at Secret Santa? Is that what you're saying?
Oh no, I was a great Secret Santa. The person that I was giving the gift to absolutely loved the lead up to it. The entire office was abuzz.
Okay.
But I almost got fired over it, so yeah.
You almost got fired over it?
Yes. I like to edit photos.
Okay, well, all right. Note to self: don't ever give Sarah a photo of me. Don't ever give Sarah a photo of me and Kira together. That is not a good idea, because you'll do stuff to it. So sort of bringing it all back together.
Are you just gonna skip right over Brandon?
Oh God, did I not ask Brandon? Brandon, here you go, Brandon. What are you, Brandon? What are you not waiting to be invited to?
Oh, I was kind of hoping you would skip over me.
Oh fuck. Okay. You mean like I did Sarah on Friday, where she didn't have to answer the question, and then
Thanks, Sarah. I don't have much of an answer for this, but I mean, I guess not being afraid to be that, like we were talking about earlier, the representation of a larger group. Even though it does feel like some pressure sometimes, I do it anyway. It's like, well, this is my opinion. I don't represent every gay guy out there, but this is my take. This is my opinion. This is how I see things, and I put it out there. And I would think people should be intelligent enough to realize that we are all individuals and have our own opinions and beliefs and takes on different things. So those who don't, well, just, I don't know, just go home.
Yeah. I mean, the fact of the matter is, here's what happened. You showed up, you told the truth out loud. That's not small. And so I say to all of my co-hosts, to Brandon, to Onyx, to Sarah, to Miranda, take one thing with you when you leave this room, not a slogan, a posture. Herring carried chalk, King carried a racket, Jenkins carried a pen. You carry whatever is in your hand and you use it like everybody in the future is watching, because it is. And so when you show up and you participate and you behave, we become largely unforgettable. And when we're unforgettable, that means that other people benefit from our visibility to others. and to everyone else. All right, Brandon, now I want to hear your take about Oscars.
Oh, well.
Bravo!
The Best Picture was the biggest category. That was one battle after another. I haven't seen that one.
I haven't even seen this movie. One
I
battle.
didn't even know it was a movie.
Yeah, I've seen bits of the advertisements, and it's like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like my type of movie, but
Is it a war
Best
movie?
Actor was. It looks like an action kind of.
It is billed as a black comedy action thriller film.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and it has DiCaprio, Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, Regina Hall, Tiana Taylor, and Chase Infinity. That's their film.
That is a packed group right there.
Yeah.
Huh, okay.
Yeah,
I've never
it
heard
won
of
for
it.
Best Picture and Best Director, and I think Best Actress maybe was no. That was the one. That was Hamnet, I think. I don't know. It won several, but Sinners won a lot.
Yeah, I
Michael B. Jordan, of course, won Best
expected
Actor.
Sinners. I expected Sinners to win. But so just so everyone's aware, so Paul Thomas Anderson, who was the director, he did Punch Drunk Love. He did the weird Daniel Day-Lewis movie, There Will Be Blood, which ended in the weirdest possible way. And he did Boogie Nights, and he did Hard Eight, and he did the even more bizarre film Magnolia in '99. Which I can't even watch that movie. I find it bizarre and puzzling. But anyway, so yeah,
I'm talking about Weapons. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Weapons was a great movie. Kira loved that movie.
Yeah, it didn't get the only thing it got nominated for, as far as I remember, is Best Supporting Actress, and that's who won that one. Amy Madigan won Best Supporting Actress for her role. She played the aunt. What's her name? Can't remember her name in the film, but I thought it was a really good movie. I kind of wish they would have made it into a limited series instead. The way they did it and everything, I think they really could have expanded on each perspective, each character, and drawn it out a little more. I think it would have made a really good, 8 episode series or something like that. But I really like the way they did each perspective of the characters, and I think they could have expanded on that and maybe gone into a little backstory of Aunt. What was her name? Aunt. Oh, I can't. I just watched it not long ago. Anyway, whatever.
Aunt Gladys.
But- Gladys. Yes.
Gladys. Aunt Gladys.
And of course, it's Conan O'Brien hosted, and he did a good job. I don't love Conan O'Brien. I don't like his style of comedy all that well, but
I mean, at all. No.
he was decent. The jokes were funny. I'm sure he probably didn't write all of them, but some of it was funny, and I tolerated him this time. And he kind of made fun of Timothy Chalamet. I don't know if you heard about the kind of faux pas of that Timothy Chalamet. He talked in an interview not too long ago about
it the ballet?
Nobody cares about ballet and opera anymore, and
Right.
he got a lot of backlash for that.
He got his ass
of course,
torn
Conan
up.
made
Yeah.
Conan made fun of him during his speech for that too. And Timothy didn't win anything, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it. If the arts community kind of if it overshadowed his performance or whatever, but it was kind of an ignorant comment to make.
Definitely. Like, really.
Yeah, I mean, that tracks. I mean, I sort of agree. Like I said, from an awards perspective, I'm a little disappointed that Sinners didn't win more, because really I felt like that movie should have won a bunch more.
Well, I think they got a lot of recognition though, because they got nominated for, I think, 16 altogether or something like that. It was a lot, and
Right.
so
And throughout
in that respect,
throughout the season.
Oh no, go ahead.
Throughout the season, they've won a lot. They've won like NAACP awards, Image Awards, BAFTA awards. So, and rightly so. They all said that. Michael B. Jordan said that, after the BAFTAs, he was like, the NAACP awards, the Image Awards are our people, and he was happy to win for our people, the Black population. So that was kind of a big deal. It wasn't the Oscars, but it was still a bigger deal for him.
Yeah, and he did end up winning an Oscar for Best Actor, so I think that was
right.
I think that was deserved too, because he was, I think, in the Golden Globes or one of the awards ceremonies, he was nominated for both Best Actor and Supporting Actor, because he plays twins.
Right. Yeah, Jordan, not that I was a huge fan of those films, but Jordan's portrayal in the Creed films was really, I mean, I feel like this is a bad euphemism, I would say, but those films were this era's Rocky films, Of course,
yeah,
that storyline is itself connected to, that Rocky shared universe or whatever, but I think Jordan is an undercredited actor, in my opinion.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he really is. I think he's a very versatile actor, and he's able to approach things, in the right way, in a positive way, and so I think he deserves that recognition, and that's why it's disappointing. I mean, I'm happy that he got Best Actor. It's still disappointing, but that film didn't get Best Picture. And of all things, over a Paul T. Anderson film. So.
Yeah, I don't like Paul Thomas Anderson films at all. It may be Boogie Nights, but like Magnolia, I did not like at all. None of his films.
Right. Well, does anybody have anything they want to say in closing?
Same old. No trash, no transphobia, no racism, no ableism, no sexism, no homophobia. Fuck Trump and fuck ICE. As always. So.
Anybody disagree with that? I don't. I don't disagree with that. All right. Well, for everybody that's watching the show, thank you for coming to the show. Thank you for participating in the show. Thank you for engaging with us. Please continue to show up on every Monday and Friday so that we can keep doing the show, because we can't do this without you guys. I can't do it without Brandon, who is the source of my soap opera-ism. So, so with that, I will tell everybody, go out and go do good things, be positive, and you know what? Stop using the application the way it was supposed to be used. I'm not raising my hand. What?
I need to figure out how to use this.
Do I need to have a laugh track now for the show? I think that's crazy.
That is what I need is a laugh track.
Yeah, a laugh track. All right. Well, with that, I will tell everybody thank you for coming. And ignore the emoji shit that's happening in the. You know what? People are going to get tired of it eventually, and then they'll stop fucking around with it. That's okay.
I have no idea how to do this shit.
No. It's all a learning process. So thank you, everyone. Have a good day, and we'll see each other again on Friday. Yay. On Friday. Yay.